welcome to another Friday night's edition of Good Night Sri Lanka, right here on PodHub. We're coming to you live on our Facebook page. A big thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in. And hello, team.
Hello.
How are
You all missed us, no, the three of us.
Well, come to think of it, we were actually having this conversation earlier on. It's after 1 month, believe it or not, that the three of us have basically been on the show together.
Yeah.
Because there has been something or the other.
Was one of us.
Yeah. And but we should take this moment to actually thank a professional sitter.
Fill in the blanker.
Who basically has been filling in the blanks for either one of us. It could be any one of us.
Girl, boy, no problem.
Girl, boy, this, that, he, she, anything.
Anything. No problem.
But so, yeah, they, them. Yeah. But thank you, Aslan, for rescuing the show at times that needed rescuing. But anyway, so how was the week? It's been, I mean, in the last 1 month that we will. In the last 1 month that we haven't actually been on the show together, many things have actually happened. We've moved studios.
That's one of the main things.
We're in a new location. We've flown to other countries and got lost. Things like that.
Smell the flowers and the roses on a random
street.
On a
random basis, things like that. So, I mean, there are a fair amount of things that actually happened, which we'll definitely get into it. But we have
our Globetrotter.
We'll start off with Christian. How was your week, class of the lost 1994? Well, that's all they did. They were just lost every single time in Malaysia.
Yeah, we hadn't planned to do
lose
much.
we believe you because you're like, oh, this is a street, this is it.
So it was a very tight schedule.
How many days were you guys there for?
We were there for 3 days.
Only 3 days?
Yes, I asked for about a week. Well, 3 days.
Because everybody had to go back to work on Monday.
All right.
So you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was late. Every single day was like.
You are not going to relax there, no?
4 o'clock in the morning sessions end.
We're not going to ask you what you're doing till 4.
And 10 o'clock we had to get up and go somewhere, right? So there was hardly enough time for relaxing or anything like that.
Who is a new friend you found on the
cable car?
Cable car.
Oh, Vivi.
Vivi.
You bought
Vivi. We say Vivi for other things.
That was actually the point we told her,
okay.
You told her that?
Yeah, we told her that.
Oh dear.
I said when we had to go out, we say we have to go Vivi.
Yeah. And this is how you create friendships which are long lasting.
So then one of our guys went to this department store and bought a pair of sandals, hush puppies. So then we told her that, in Sri Lankan, we have kaki puppies and pipi puppies. And she took it very seriously.
Naturally.
So she doesn't know any better.
Wait,
I have a question. Who Vivi? Who that? From where you found her?
She's actually working for a travel agency.
I thought this random person in a cable car.
They are licensed tour guides. So
maybe you should have started with that. No, because it sounds like you sat in a cable car. Vivi. So come, we go and buy some hush puppies.
No. She's a very joyful character, right? All the boys were very fond of her, and nice little character, good English, very good English. And took us around and all that.
So she was only taking you guys around.
But we were landed at this Genting Highlands, and then we were told you can go here. And then
what happened?
And we were supposed to meet her back at the first cable car station at 4 o'clock. So they had given us time. You go here for this little time. You go here for this little time. So everybody wanted to go to see the nature walk, right? Because the mountains were beautiful. It's misty. It's just a severe version of Nuwara, right? So we wanted to go out, thinking that you'll go through under these things. So we found our way and we went out, and it was a car park there, right? So then we were a bit upset. Okay, is this what you call nature walk? When we paid so much money to see the nature walk, and
So you guys actually got lost.
We got lost. Yeah.
So clearly there was a nature walk.
There was a nature walk. So when we were coming back, it was the station in the middle where we had to get
Right.
And it was so sophisticated that you get, there are lots of steps. So then again we thought, my goodness, we are not going to climb all those steps. But there were escalators there, right? Every joint had, you basically had to walk. And they will take you from one level to the other. Everything is, even the tunnel is air conditioned, where you see both sides with the trees and all that stuff. So unfortunately, we missed that, right? And then we went to
ended up in a car park.
Yeah, we ended up in a car park.
Right.
Oh my goodness! So
Now
then,
can't go on TikTok now. Christians all over it. I'm like, wait a minute, why do I keep getting Christian?
I mean, on Instagram. Now I just realized
Facebook?
I just realized he's been there for 3 days. But the amount of content that came on social media was about for 1 month.
Yeah, they're still coming.
Is it? Yeah.
So Batu Caves is still not even thought of.
Right.
More to come.
So we were just going to go there, stay at the bottom and take some photos. So one guy says,
Typical tourist.
right? Typical. My God, when you see that, it's like 45 degrees climb.
Right.
No way we were going to do that. So one guy said, aren't we going to climb? I said, are you mad? Right? Then he said, another fellow also said, Adi, what man, we came all this far, let's climb it. Right? So, okay, raise of hands. 2 became 3, became 4, and eventually everybody agreed.
Except for you.
No. Right? Annie, Andy.
නැග්ගද?
මේ පඩිය සයිස් එක මෙච්චරයි. හරිද? වැටුනොත් එහෙම ආයි බිඳුවටම වැටෙනවා. Right?
ඇයි දන්නේ නේ ඔයා එහෙම
300 steps. So 300 steps. 10ක් නගිනවා.
10ක් නගිනවා.
Yeah, 10 into how many calculated?
You stop every 10.
No, first it was about 20.
I thought I was unfit.
Right, first it was 20. ඊට පස්සේ 20 තමාරුවෙන් යන්නේ. අර රේලින් එක අල්ලගෙන නාකි වගේ.
ඒක තිබ්බේ නැද්ද escalator එකක්?
නෑ ඒකේ නෑ. ඒකේ you have to enjoy, you have to walk the entire, that's the part of the
okay.
So when you go up there, it's actually beautiful. It's
Thrilling.
All limestone. Only problem was there was bats raining poop up there.
That's why that is what Batu Cave is. Did they not tell you that?
Yeah, so that was there, but it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad. And from
They
there,
poop
when you reach up there is another fleet of steps where you go and you can see the opening to the sky.
ඒක ගියේ නෑනේ.
ගියාද? එච්චර ගිහලා ඒකත් නොගිහින් ඉන්නවා.
Okay.
ඊට පස්සේ then of course the journey back
was easier.
Down was even tougher. Because the angle is
because it's like that.
The angle is so steep, right? So you got to be very careful. You can't be rushing like iskore duga wage කරන්න බෑ. දරබඩ දුක.
දැන් කොහමද බෑ තමයි.
දැන් කොහමද බෑ. You remember what happened to me? So that was that. So those were the only 2 places we managed to go.
You didn't buy anything stuff like
I bought some stuff for the salon. That's
okay.
And then everybody else went shopping. I had to go hunting for all these other stuff. And it was good. We went to, we saw we had a lot of street food which we wanted to do. Right? We went to a night area which was like the similar version of what we have here, but about 100 times bigger.
What do you mean night area? Like a red light district?
No, not red light. I mean, it was not. It was a similar version of Park Street Muse, where there's there's discos all over.
Right.
It's just the entire area, the entire place is all disco. So you got to pick and choose where you want to go, and and just have a good time. There are live bands playing, DJs, lots of pretty
DJs.
Whatever.
Finish the sentence, please. I'm waiting for you to finish the sentence.
Please don't.
Lots of beautiful,
attractive
humans
walking around. I mean, that was a Thursday, so I mean, for a Thursday, it had to be so much happening.
Plenty of humans.
Plenty of human beings going up and down. Yeah.
Okay.
Good, yeah.
There are a fair amount of humans in Malaysia.
Walking around at that time of hour. Very
so
good.
One of our fellows were like,
look at the human.
No. When we were landing, මූණ නිදා ගන්නෙත් නැහැ මේ කලුවරේ ඉන්නවා කියලා මචං what were you doing man, you didn't even sleep, none of us could sleep there, but then the bagage බලා දන්නේ නැහැ මේ ප්ලේන් එකේ කරපු කොර වැඩ මං සෑහෙන්න ඇල්ලුවා කියලා ප්ලේන් එකේ කොර වැඩ මොනවද බලා එකෙක්වත් දන්නේ නැහැ මූ ලෑන්ඩ් කරද්දි මචං මූ නියුට්‍රල් එකේ ගියානේ පෙට්‍රල්
my God.
මූ ලෑන්ඩ් කරද්දි නියුට්‍රල් එකට දාගෙන ගියේ මූ පෙට්‍රල් බේරන්න. මගේ එච්චරද? නෑ ඊට පස්සේ මූ මේ ලෑන්ඩ් කරන් පස්සේ මූ අර රන්වේ එකේ ෆුල් ලෙන්ත් එක ගිහලා ලස්සනට යන්න නැතුව මූ ෂෝට් කට් එකක් දැම්මා.
මංගොත් දැම්මා.
ෂෝට් කට් එකකින් ගිහලා තමයි මේ ටර්මිනල් එකට ගියේ කියලා. So those type of things also, you know.
Yeah.
It was
Fun all over.
So now your batch trips and all that stuff is over.
We have back to school
Back to
next
school
month.
next month.
Back to school.
Back to school next month and the dance.
So back to school means you're basically in uniform.
Yeah, uniform.
In uniform.
Not to
Yeah.
stitch, no?
And white shirt, blue
White shirt,
trousers.
blue trouser, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay.
So we'll get all the teachers to come
Uh-huh.
and have a bit of a lecture and all that.
They're
But
alive?
Most of the teachers, most of them are alive. Yeah,
Then-
retired, but we are inviting them back to come.
Wanted to ask.
Yeah.
That was the most important thing for Andy. Teachers are alive.
So just before we went, we had another function.
Oh.
We had the house cricket match.
Oh, right.
The house
Okay.
cricket match. We
Right.
have 4 houses.
Right, okay.
Right, අර ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන්නේ 4 houses.
ධර්මපාල, සිරිසේන, එහෙමද?
No, we have Mark, Bonjin, very posh names.
Gin.
Bonjin.
Right.
What?
Mark, Bonjin,
Bonjin.
Melison and Kudet.
Right.
Those
I
are
heard
all
that
bishops.
gin.
Yeah.
So we had a cricket match also, which was fantastic.
Good.
Yeah,
Who won?
yeah.
Your house?
Melissa, no, we were second place.
What is your house?
Melissa.
Melissa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I mean, if we're basically going to find out from Christine as to where the names of the houses come from, we'll be talking till the cows come home.
Yeah.
So,
that was my weekend.
yeah, oh, then great.
Or the 4 days rather.
Yeah.
3-4
I forgot
days.
his week. I mean, it's 4 days.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
My goodness.
So how about yours?
Well,
Work and home.
Permission to cry. How was your?
no, it was a great week. I work out. I also eat pizza. If anybody from that workout session is listening, you did not hear this. But I lost a kilo or so. Tama kilo again. Kanawa kilo ka baino kilo ka kanawa.
But I mean, it makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Energized.
At least it's too. I mean, I know for a fact that I'm toned is because my jeans are a little not fitting as well as it used to. It's a little big on the waist. So little.
So, but the thing is, Andy, you're not working out to lose weight, are you?
I am. what are you saying? I need to lose 5 kilos. That's
Why?
the goal. Big look.
Is that a goal? Is that a goal?
Yeah.
The goal is like a special occasion.
That's no occasion. That's just
You want to
goal.
get into a dress that you
No.
can't get into.
Saving
That
for
dress
the last-
has to fit me. I will not fit the dress. No. But the goal is to lose 5 kilos. I want to be 56, 57.
By when?
Before I die.
What kind of goal is that?
Long. I'm here for the long run. No.
You are here for the long haul.
No. But soon. Before this year, and definitely. Pahak basana.
Before this year?
Yeah.
There's 6 more months to go.
Hari come on.
Can do.
Can. Mama
Right.
going hari kella kari kamono. It has to go, people. It has to go.
Yeah.
Right.
I should also tell that to my mouth.
Right. Yeah, it has to go. It has to go into my mouth. It has to go.
What were you eating just before the show?
Grapes.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Grape flavored pizza.
Grapes in a flat box.
Yeah.
That's right.
So how was yours?
It was okay. I mean, as far as nothing as exciting as Christian.
You can't
No,
beat that.
I can't beat that,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we didn't see any beautiful humans here, right? It was just
We saw humans.
we saw humans, same old, but we just basically went along with the flow, as they say. But obviously, like I said, we're still in the new studio.
Okay.
Lots of shows are being basically done here, so that obviously keeps us, growing and going as far as the shows and the company is concerned. So anyway, so that was our week. There was only interesting thing was Christian.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Because
Because the grapes came in a flat box.
sorry, I don't know what it is.
Okay, moving on.
Anyway, let's get into our first segment on the show. It's Lanka Last Week. Let's find out what happened as far as interesting things happened in Sri Lanka in the week that just flew by.
One is whistling the tune.
Sorry, you were saying something?
I don't know.
You were saying something?
No.
We heard you saying something on the show. One is missing what?
One is whistling.
One is whistling. One is missing and point to Christian.
Yeah. All right, Lanka last week on the show. Here we go. The first one. Sri Lanka's biggest lottery prize has been won.
Oh my
I
God.
474 million rupees.
You can put it on your bed and sleep on it.
Man.
And still have more.
And this obviously
Fantastic, right?
it's well for security reasons they haven't revealed the name
Yeah.
of the
Obviously.
individual.
Yeah.
That individual would have run to another
So
country by now. I'm telling you.
minus 10% of that, you're still a lot of money.
What
Yeah,
10%?
but why-
Tax? No
You
more,
tax-
right?
What about tax?
Tax,
More than 10%.
Yeah, 36%.
36%.
Okay.
Eighth come up
But
there.
still a lot
We
of
will
money.
give 40%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is the time. This is the time when all your unheard relations, friends will all basically
Long lost buddies.
What would you have done if you were the winner? Disappear.
for 474 million rupees. I wouldn't disappear. I'll just make sure that I'll just land everything in a bank.
Okay.
Just keep it in the bank,
Okay.
and then within the bank start investing.
Okay.
That's about it.
What would you do, Andy?
I will retire and I will do things I love.
Like going to Bahamas.
Bahamas, pina
Pina
coladas.
coladas.
I will first retire.
There goes that 5 kilos, by the way.
What?
That is, no, I don't have that
No,
money. No,
yeah.
I still have the goal.
I will use that money to reduce that 5 kilos.
Anybody has an idea what the lottery was?
No.
We don't know. But
I
I don't know.
Yeah.
We just are just about to get another tranche as far as IMF is concerned, right? For the country.
Yeah.
Now we have an
Now,
individual who's actually walked off with
with-
474 million rupees.
Almost that amount. I think.
So IMF might as well transfer that money to him.
And say now you do your thing.
No, I'm sure it's a mistake. Are you sure it's 474?
Oh, that's
474
fantastic.
million.
You know, but whoever put that number one day would have thought, කවුරුත් ඉතින් දිනන්නේ නේ දාලා බලමු.
Yeah, that's the thing.
අන්න දිනලා.
That's
But
the
do you
thing.
know, now after work I go to this little place to have a
to
plate,
eat.
to play and tea, right? That guy, the lottery box there, at 5 o'clock, always empty.
As if he's not there or
No,
there's
he
no
is
tickets.
there, no tickets.
මිනිස්සු
Yeah.
ගන්නවද තාම?
No tickets. There are so many people who buy tickets in this country.
Do people
So
buy?
Christian, let me tell you, it's mega power draw.
Mega power, okay.
474 million,
Okay.
599,422 rupees.
තිතට.
Yeah, that's exactly how much he has won.
Okay.
And
It's a
no, I don't-
Human.
It doesn't say.
Human,
No, it was
pretty
sold. No, it was sold by Janaki Hemamina, who is a lottery agent
Where?
in Gokarala area.
Gokarala.
Where that?
Where is that?
Gokarala is in Gokarala.
No.
That is why we never win lottery tickets. We don't know where they're selling these things.
So, Chris, what's this? I mean, I've heard this also many times, right? This whole misconception that the chances of actually striking big in a lottery ticket, you need to buy it outstation.
Yes.
So, what used to happen those days when everyone used to go out for their trips and their vacation and all that stuff, people who don't buy lottery tickets in Colombo
Buy from there.
buy from out there because they had this misconception.
No, you know why? Because when you hear people winning the lottery, it's all Anuradhapura,
Yeah.
Ratnapura.
Yeah.
You know, those far away places. Hardly you see. Colombo,
Never,
10.
never.
Kurunegala.
Yeah,
There you go.
never,
So
never.
then you might as well go there and go, ooh, I need to buy a ticket. Could
Yeah,
be
exactly.
me.
Could be me.
Could be me.
Yeah. So anyway, 474 million rupees.
Well, congratulations.
Lottery winner. Basically, we don't know who you are. We don't know
Lucky
where
you.
you are, but lucky you. IMF will get in touch with you. So it's
For
not
the credit.
or the Sri Lankan government will get in touch with you.
For the debit.
For the
It can go either way.
So Gokarala is past Ibbagamu, Kurunegala patte.
again.
Kurunegala.
Kurunegala.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, that's the story. Congratulations to the lottery winner. Next story on Lanka last week. What do we have? No fuel shortage in Sri Lanka, according to the Energy Minister.
That's a
Ministry
statement.
and Minister, right? That is because of the current situation that is happening between Israel and Iran.
Okay.
Iran, of course, in the top 5 as far as the biggest oil producing nations. And this clearly, of course, with the escalation of activity, so to say, the crude price index of the barrel also has gone up. Now, as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, we go through a formula that at the end of every month, they decide on the fuel prices. In the last couple of months, the fuel prices have not gone up. They've actually gone down, you know, and so lots of people are expecting the fuel prices clearly to go up, and it can't be only in Sri Lanka. It will definitely be happening all over the world. But there is unwanted rumors that are starting at the moment because of the current situation that, you know, we are going to basically have issues with fuel. But according to the government, they've made it very clear that we have fuel as a country for the next 2.5 months.
Okay. So
Only.
don't worry for 2.5 months.
Only.
Yes,
but
we have for 2.5 months. That's all we can hold.
After that, we will consider again.
No, they
No,
will
then we'll order so.
Hari, what I'm saying is, Hari,
ඉඩ
order
නැහැ, ඉඩ නැහැ, තියන්න ඉඩ නැහැ.
ඉඩ නැහැ. එහෙම.
ඔයගොල්ලන් අර ගෙදර පොඩි ටිකක් නැද්ද මොනවද? තෙල් පොඩි ටිකක් කියමු. අර වැස්සට ඉන්නේ.
අපි ලාංචිනේ එව නෑ අපිට. එව නෑ.
Anyway, next story on the show. 229 O-level exam will be held under new curriculum.
Ayyo, sin men for the children in 2029 O level. This is one. Oh, these exams. Like perpetually you're in stress now.
Yeah.
From year 9 here O level la in year 11. And from year 9 now studying for O level. Then ane two weeks break. A level la in 2 years. Again A level. Sin ane 2029. I pity you 2029 batch. Pau ane. You do you. Don't worry. You can get jobs without. No, not really. I follow. Don't take advice. Don't take advice from a single auntie. Listen to your parents, please.
At least start your own business. I mean, you don't. I mean, there was classic examples.
You don't
in
need
history,
Pythagoras Prameya for that.
Yeah,
No?
I mean,
Right.
No, but I
Okay.
think we spoke about this also on the show, that where everyone's actually finishing, lots of kids today are finishing their O-levels, do not even cite school for their A-levels.
They don't. That's not even a consideration.
Yeah.
It's straight because anyway these institutes advertise, right?
Yeah.
After O levels, it's whatever.
Right.
After O levels, it's something. So you can be diverse and actually
No,
explore that.
I am all for change of curriculum. You know why? දැන් අපි කඩේකට ගිහිල්ලා පාන් ගෙඩියක මිල ඇහුවම මුදලාලි කියන්නේ නැහනේ පිටි කිලෝවක් මෙච්චරයි. පිටි කිලෝවෙන් දෙගුණයක් තමයි සීනි කිලෝව. සීනි කිලෝව මෙන් තුන් ගුණයක් තමයි බටර් කිලෝව. හරි ඒක පහෙන් බෙදලා දෙකෙන් වැඩි කරාම තමයි පාන් ගෙඩියේ මිල කියලා කියන්නේ නැහනේ.
We don't do the calculation.
We never did that, no, but that is what we learned, no.
But I read somewhere they said, right, in schools they should teach you things like how tax is
Of course,
computed,
yes.
how to file tax, things like that, which is useful when you actually come out.
That
with
is
it.
so true.
That doesn't really mean that you can't be, I don't know, engineers and proctors and lawyers and all that, all of that comes with it. But you also need that skill.
But
right?
unfortunately, the method, the education and studying method that we have been following, not only us, many other schools around the world, is the memory method.
Yes, you have to memorize.
You are just memorizing what you, and you know how many of you, how many of us, basically what we memorize in school, are putting it in actual effect today.
Who will remember those
Nobody.
things? How many kavi I memorized to get through the Sinhala padama? Ayyo, අර මගේ
අපිට එකක් කියන්න
මතක නෑ memorize. I used to whack all the kavi because I was not great in my Sinhala. And I don't want ඒව නෑ ඒව දාන්න නාලාගිරි දමනය බාලගිරි දෝෂේ something else. Nalagiri Damane, what was I was trying to say. I used to whack all the kavi behind my door so that when I close my door to sleep, I can see it. It was stressful because I had to learn it and we had to memorize it, right? Because you don't know which one will come for the exam. Pass soon, I think, but it was very difficult, at 16 when you should be looking at a boy, you're looking at a door with kavi. What a life! But here we are. I mean, looked at the boy also, but the door also came into play.
But you had that boy's photo removed from Mama.
That is Richie from 5, no? Ek galewa kaviyak press kara. Okay.
Yeah, but it's so true. I mean, there's lots of stuff that we actually learned. I mean, when we were in school, we were asked to plot the rivers in a world map, right? Today, kids are asking, why do we need to plot it on a map when it's on Google Earth?
Which is
Which is true. Which is true.
We didn't have Google Earth then.
You know,
we were Google Earth.
That reminds me, my daughter is actually going through her end of year exams right now, right? And the amount of usage as far as apps and computers are concerned is phenomenal. She actually has an app that tracks how long she's actually studying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's like a thing now.
It's a thing now.
Wow.
It's a thing now. So basically, and the conversation that she basically says, yesterday I was studying for 3.5 hours or 3 hours and 32 minutes for science and 2 hours and 22 minutes. I said, how do you know? No, I have an app. I'm like, what? An app? Yeah, I have an app that tracks exactly how long.
We look at the clock and wait for the cutter to go.
We look at the time, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
After half an hour, we look at the time, it's 8:02.
8:02. Like, oh gosh, I've been studying so much for 2 minutes.
Yeah, and they also have apps that I can actually make flashcards, right?
That's useful.
I know. Those days we used to make the flashcards. Right? These. It's
technology, right? So
technology
it's
and utilizing everything.
Yes, no, but that half an hour. No, but that half an hour is very tedious. Very difficult to study that half an hour. I always think must get up in the morning and study. Can get up in the morning. The end.
So the addition as far as the new curriculum is concerned is they're basically introducing vocational education.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, vocational education will be introduced starting from grade 9. So that is the change in the 2029 O-level exam new curriculum.
Right.
That's basically according to the Prime Minister. All right, next one on the show. What do we have? Small cars banned. Only sedans allowed for airport pickups. App-based taxi services say.
Define small cars like Maruti.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Small cars.
What is that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
No luggage space. No.
I mean,
maybe.
What if there are? There are lots of business travelers who basically come with.
One person is coming. You're just having maximum you can carry is 30 plus 7.
But at one point, I'm sure it's still on right now. Massive mafia going on at the airport.
Exactly. This is something to do with the mafia.
Massive mafia.
This is those. There are people who actually wanted to have luxury coach services.
Okay.
Right. There was actually one that was started about 6 months ago. One day of operation, they had to close.
Yeah, I know.
They had to shut down. It's
and
a total mafia.
And I remember it was after a great difficulty that they actually implemented Pick Me and Uber.
Yeah, exactly. That was also not allowed.
Because now they have a separate section for Pick Me and Uber at the airport for arrivals.
If not, it's just a normal one.
If not, you have the taxi. You have the airport taxis.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, you have to basically pay the price that they actually ask you to pay.
Yeah.
And it could be a ridiculous amount, anything between like 15, 20, 25,000 rupees.
Come from the airport to.
That's right. That's right. So
maybe those days when we didn't have a highway, I understand. Not anymore.
Yeah, and I suppose one of the reasons is that again that they're basically banning small cars is
probably luggage.
Possible, or they just
no.
Probably.
I don't think so.
No.
or maybe just the outlook of the country.
I mean, we had 15 guys traveling, and we had one van. Like, how on earth are we going to put all this luggage? This guy gets down, poof, 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 poof. Any more? Is that all?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All in one van, huh?
All in one van.
And the 15 of you all.
And the 15 of us.
What was it, a Batmobile or what?
It's huge, this, what do you call this new...
like that huge, that high van.
JKH or something like that, yeah.
But yeah, so that's the story. If you're planning on obviously taking a cab back from the airport, you will not be allowed to actually get into a small car. You will only be allowed a sedan. That is the story right now for that particular news item. Next one on the show, what do we have? CPC stops dispensing fuel into barrels and cans.
Oh.
Okay, now.
Why is that?
This is where the rumor started.
Oh, okay.
This is where the rumor started from in terms of this whole shortage.
So they were trying to make a barrel.
Yeah. So basically, again, at the end.
But then are tuk-tuk guys and all, they fit into that, right? To the cans.
They used to, but then what is happening right now, with the rumor that is going on,
stacking up.
exactly, exactly, and looking to actually resell it at other exorbitant prices, if by any chance
that
we come to a situation where, but I don't think so. So that's one of the reasons they've actually banned it, which is a very good move. Which is an absolutely good move. So you don't have these guys basically lining up in barrels just to fill up your fuel, and it's not going anywhere. It's just going into the garage of their houses.
Just stock up.
Just to stock up, you know. So that's the story there. Next story on the show. What do we have? No fuel shortage despite the Middle East crisis. We spoke about this, and this is according to the government. Like I said, they say that we have 2.5 months worth of fuel. As far as storage, right? At the backyard, we have it. Next one on the show: over 73,000 vehicles registered since removal of import restrictions. That is a ridiculous amount of vehicles, and they are paying exorbitant amounts.
But it's true.
People must be crazy.
But I think it's true, right?
Yeah.
If you just watch the road, there are lots of brand new vehicles, and some of those names I have never heard. I'm sure the gentlemen have heard, but I haven't heard.
And have you seen the amount of new V8s that are moving around?
V8s?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen every day. I see at least 2 to 3 unregistered V8s going around.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot of new.
There is a lot of, and the thing is, I mean, I think we spoke about this last week also. You have a lot of these new vehicles. Obviously, you have just a paper number at the back, because there was a huge backlog in terms of providing number plates.
I mean, I just can't imagine why should someone pay close upon 7 to 8 million for a little what's that called, Stingray. The little car?
Right.
Now 8 million.
8, I think more than that.
Yeah,
it's about 8 to 9 million.
Those just 1.5 or 2.5, no?
Yes.
I remember.
Now, and this is what we spoke about last week, Andy. A tuk is going at 2 million rupees.
2 million, yes.
The guy had the part of it.
2
really?
million rupees.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Right. So
Kala.
it's crazy. I mean, the amount of, and there are people out there who are still willing to buy, but you know, obviously, it's the leasing companies that are clearly making the money, right? And it's ridiculous.
All it does is take you from point A to point B.
Yeah,
that's all it does.
Yep.
In a little luxury.
Well, define luxury.
Better than going with nikang hulang, no? You go with AC.
3-wheeler ke full AC.
Naturally.
Natural AC. Whatever AC.
Yeah, so that's basically on the show with us. What else do we have? What else do we have?
Right.
Are we done? Oh, we're done. Okay, all right.
How
Okay.
about the plane crash? Didn't it happen last week?
Last week?
Yeah.
But that was a morbid story, no?
That was pretty
and
sad, as a matter.
that one survivor.
Yeah. And that's another story that I think I heard about this yesterday. That everyone's actually accusing that one survivor.
But what did he do?
Wondering exactly
how he got out alive.
How he survived. And the theories, the conspiracy theories that are coming out, some are saying that he was not on the flight. He actually took a cab to where it was and pretended it's ridiculous.
But I'm sure the flight data system
he's obviously on the flight.
Yeah,
who will take a cab? Go to an accident site and get down and walk.
But the thing is, people are actually furious.
That he survived and the 239.
Yes, and
he's actually the 66th person of all 6. I can't remember either the 6th or the 66th person who actually survived, a single person survival from an aircraft.
It's unfortunate that his brother passed away.
Yeah,
he was with him in the flight, and I saw the video of him. Part of the funeral service.
But I think the way he also walks, so people are even judging that, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I think he has like a phone in his hand or something.
He's in shock, obviously.
and he's walking, but I'm sure he's in shock, right?
And
he was on a plane and now he has no people on that plane.
Exactly.
Right?
So I was following this that famous pilot who's giving the probabilities of what happened. So among many, among this thing called the rat deploying. It could be electricity. It could be a contamination of fuel. That was one theory. So I was thinking to myself as a kid when I used to travel from train, there is these train carriages that carry jet fuel.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Those are kalu. This guy was going on to say how contaminated fuel can stop an engine just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, how contaminated would those train carriages be?
Yeah.
And we haven't had a single incident like that.
No, but it actually goes
Right?
through a process before it goes into the flight.
Yeah,
You know,
it
so
must.
because the transportation of fuel and all the stuff that actually can happen through transportation have also been taken into consideration. So it doesn't come from, for example, the transportation device straight into the flight. It goes through a process and then it comes in.
There are professional pumpers that they say, right, where it's mechanically, whatever, even if there is a piece of straw which goes through that, it's detected.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So lots of theories going behind
A lot of
it.
theories behind
Some
that plane
say
crash.
that the flaps have come down.
No, but the thing is, lots.
Some say
I mean, like you said,
the temperature had an issue.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
43 degrees there at that time, so there
But
was
the
not
thing
enough
is,
lift.
they were not inexperienced pilots.
Absolutely.
I mean, the pilot had over 10,000 hours
Yeah,
of flying
yeah.
time.
I
right?
think it happened.
Yeah.
And it's unexplainable, and that one human being is alive.
It's crazy.
Can we
And
just, let him catch a break?
I
a little
know.
bit,
I mean,
please?
it's
He's alive.
It's pretty unfortunate.
I
that
think he
basically
can't believe
happened.
it either.
I'm sure. I mean, it's not something that I don't think he would rather think, listen, why the hell am I here? That's like the worst feeling that you can actually have. But that really was a really, really sort of sad piece of news that actually happened last week. All right, it's time for us to get into a guest we have on the show right now. And someone that I have actually gone a long way back and have known him for over like 15, 20 years. And now he and his family are actually in Australia. It's coming down to Sri Lanka right now and about to launch something really exciting and really new. We're going to be talking about that. We'll come back right after this break. Welcome back to the show, and yes, as always on Good Night Sri Lanka, we always have a guest edition where we bring in somebody on the show talking about some really interesting stuff and find out what's actually going on as far as Sri Lankans who not necessarily only live in Sri Lanka, like Gavin, who's our guest on the show today, of course, lives in Australia. Gavin and I actually go a very, very long way back. Too long, Gavin?
Yes.
way too. He's embarrassed to admit also how long that we go back. But we do. So Gavin's actually with his family in Australia. Gavin is basically in Sri Lanka for a very, very special reason, and we're going to get into all those details as we move on. Gav, firstly, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Pleasure, and thank you very much for having me. It was surprising for me to know that you had left radio, but it was about time.
Thank you. So that's all we have time for the interview today.
That's the statement of the year.
Yeah, so thank you very much for watching.
No, it's a pleasure, and look, let's talk about the excitement and the products and the brand that we're talking about later on. But I've seen you on air so many times, and I was like, God bless the people who actually put their money behind it.
But Gav, you've moved to Australia. How's life in Australia?
Life is good. It's like a little Sri Lanka.
Yeah, obviously.
So you're in Canberra?
No, in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Okay.
In Melbourne.
Okay.
However much you want to get away from Sri Lankans, you can't.
Right.
The biggest population out of Sri Lanka, and where I live, I think 90% of them are in that area.
Oh, really?
And look, if you want Sri Lankan food, there are about 50 Sri Lankan shops to choose from. You don't need to cook anything. From Chinese rolls to pol sambal, you can find it.
Right.
So no, look, it's good. Australia is good. No place like Sri Lanka.
For sure.
For sure. You every now and then you get homesick and say, you know what, let's go to Sri Lanka.
Right.
And then reality hits. You look at few things, and it's good. Life is good, but yeah, you have moments where you feel homesick.
Yeah,
It's pretty darn cool these days, I guess.
Yeah, so when I left in the morning, it was about 2 degrees.
Oh,
Wow.
And it warms up to about 12 degrees. That's t-shirt weather.
Right. Okay.
Okay, but
That's not bad.
that's not bad. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
No, but overall, Australia is good. I think a lot of people call it a second home.
Right.
And no, I think there are 250,000 Sri Lankans living in Australia.
And counting.
I'm counting. Look, we met up a couple of days ago. So the St. Thomas's rugby teams of 1999 to 2004 met at CR.
Right.
So technically, you take about 20 people per team. You're looking at about 80 people, 80 players, or
Right.
60 players.
Right.
Guess how many turned up?
But 60, 70?
15.
15?
Everyone else has
Gone to Australia?
Not Australia, the country. You know, it's sad.
Right.
It's sad that there's such a big brain drain from Sri
Oh,
Lanka.
for
you know.
sure.
But
We are the only brains left.
God bless Sri Lanka.
Can you see? That's why he's saying it's sad.
You know, it's,
And they should call me for that outing.
If at all we fall to that category.
Yeah, the sad category.
no, look, in all fairness, the only hope is that yes, we have people who have gone and experienced the outside world, and they've got that I would say a fourth dimension in terms of their thinking and their exposure. At some day, let's hope that brains and that type of experience comes back to Sri Lanka to take it to the next level.
Right,
You know?
right.
Coming from a sports point of view, I was involved in rugby at the SLRFU, taking teams to Hong Kong. I played rugby in Hong Kong as well for a couple of years.
Right.
I've gone with the Sri Lanka team to the Hong Kong Sevens. I have been in other different sports arenas. The biggest problem Sri Lankans have is exposure.
Mm.
So you can't get confidence if you're not exposed. Even in business. Luckily, I worked at MAs and did a lot of international business, and we got that exposure. But the biggest problem why we can't develop is that thinking pattern. We are just one track minded. We have tunnel vision.
Frog in a well.
Frog in a well, and the more exposure you get, the more confident you build,
Right,
as well as you start thinking out of the box.
right.
So if you look at technology per se, the epitome of technology is if you can invent something and patent it. How many patents does Sri Lanka have compared to European countries or American countries? So that's where we need to look at in terms of our thinking. And the more exposure you have, look, yes, it's great to have so many people living outside. But yeah, bring what your experience, etc., and just share it with the country as well.
Yeah,
So that the next generation who's coming up will not have to leave the country,
yeah.
but can invent something or develop something that will sustain Sri Lanka and grow the GDP, etc., and so that we can get some foreign exchange and investment.
Yep. Gavin, of course, actually captained St. Thomas's Mount Lavinia rugby team back in the year 2000. He was heavily involved in rugby. Now, Gavin's actually shifted focus from one sport to another, and you've actually moved into sharpshooting. And you were also part of the high performance team for Sri Lanka, representing Paris Olympics. Talk us through that.
So, Shaq, I come from a long line of shooters. My great-grandfather, grandfather, my dad, and I, we always look hunting, fishing, camping, outdoor. You don't learn to shoot in Sunday school.
Right.
You're not in the Gaza Strip.
And I remember how many times you obviously wanted to go fishing.
Yes,
They said, oh my God, every Sunday, Shaq, you're coming. No.
Yeah, Shaq fishing? Yeah, no.
Just I think I started shooting an air rifle before I could pass rugby ball.
Right.
So I grew up with firearms, and it's nothing new.
Okay.
It's just that rugby took a big part of my life growing up. When I was 13, I was 100 kilos.
Yeah.
Right, so naturally I was just put it out. Now I'm 104, so you can imagine how big I was when I was 13. Obviously had the skill, had the passion, continued it. I still shot, but again at that time Sri Lanka was going through a civil war for 30 years.
Right.
So we had NATO arms embargoes, we couldn't get proper guns, we were still shooting with our great grandfather's guns. We didn't have ammunition. There was a lot of things to encourage shooting. But saying that, we had shooters like Lucky Rajasinghe, Pushpamali Ramanayaka, Zal Chitti, so many shooters who represented Sri Lanka in the Olympics. But that was only in few categories like rifle and pistol, because most of these people were military marksmen,
Right.
and they had the time. They were hired to do that, so which was good. But trap shooting, which I do, is like the Formula One of shooting, and it's every time you squeeze the trigger, it's about 500 rupees.
Wow.
So it's not shooting like shooting lead pellets and putting air to propel it.
Right.
These are proper. A gun is about $20,000. Every time you go to a World Cup, you're down about $10,000. For the last 10 years, I've been doing this. 12 years, I've been doing it. If I didn't, I could have bought another house.
Oh, really?
And that's what it is.
Right.
Yes, I played rugby till about the age of 30. What do you do to old horses that don't race? Put a bullet in their head and that's it.
You put them down.
Exactly.
Don't look
So
at me.
when you grow up from a young age, I started playing rugby when I was about 8-9 years old. I played first 15 when I was 15 years old.
Right.
So when you are involved in such a competitive environment, and when you are involved in competitive sports all your life, you need to have something to keep going. You just
Yeah.
can't. You can't stop. So in 2010-11, I won the national championship here in play target, and I was like, what's next? Do you stop here, or do you get stuck in this, or do you expand your horizons? So looked at everything. My wife was an accountant, and we just said Australia, because it ticked all the boxes: rugby, cricket, hunting, fishing, camping, shooting. USA, no. England, no. So Australia ticked all the boxes, and then moved there with a purpose. Obviously, the lifestyle was good.
Yeah.
I was one of the lucky people who went there with a job.
Oh, okay.
So after working at MAS for almost 15 years, I went and told my boss in England that I'm leaving, and one of the guys in the office said, "Oh, there's this Australian guy coming tomorrow for a meeting. Do you guys want to meet?" Met him, and he gave me a job.
Oh, yeah.
So
Lucky.
Luckily, there's someone
ones,
upstairs
yeah.
looking
Yeah.
at us.
Yeah.
Most of the guys struggle to get their first job, but I was one of those lucky people who went in with a job. And so when there, didn't know anything about. That's the other thing which I say, lack of exposure.
Mm.
Whether it's rugby or any sport or anything, you think you know everything when you're in Sri Lanka. Pote, Gura, we know everything. Don't worry, we don't need any help. When you go somewhere else, you look at new techniques, new things that they do, and you just look like an idiot.
Mm.
So I went to the gun club because I had to train, etc. I just want to just find my way.
Yeah.
And there's this Chinese guy teaching all of these young kids. I'm like, who the hell is this chap? Right? And I had borrowed a gun from the club. He said, "There's one spot, come and shoot," because there are 6 shooters in a squad. I shot, and then I had already ordered my gun because there are procedures to get a firearm. So
Right.
you get a police check, etc. And the gun dealership came and said, "Look, your gun's ready. You got to go to Beretta and get your measurements because it's a custom-made gun." So I go, and this same Chinese guy who I met the previous day opens the door and says, "Come." Then only I realized that he was for 14 years Australia's national coach, who's got 7 Olympic medals under his belt.
Wow.
4 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronze. I'm like,
Right.
thank God I did not say anything offensive. I made it on myself.
Wasn't very racist there?
No, I'm like, I tell that to him all the time.
Right.
And his name is Greg Chan. He's with me at the moment.
Right.
So he works for a company called Beretta. So Beretta is, I believe, the oldest company in the world. Started in 1526.
Wow.
Come down 15 generations, and the 15th generation and the 16th generation is currently handling it.
Right.
So look, they've been making beautiful guns. If you look at some of the guns they use, a lot of people have this thing, oh, it's a gun, it's a firearm, oh, it's dangerous. But if you look at the workmanship and the craftsmanship that goes into it, hand engraved, etc. So it's beautiful. It's like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. The technology and the workmanship is just absolutely crazy. So at the Paris Games, in the shotgun category, there were 15 medals on offer. Beretta won 14 of those 15.
Wow.
And there's a slogan saying nobody is perfect because they lost one. And it was a bronze. And that shooter was a Beretta shooter. She migrated to another brand. So
Right.
if she stayed on, it would have been 15 out of 15. So with that, lot of shooters have been using Berettas in Sri Lanka, but we haven't had a proper agent. So because of my ties with Beretta, because I'm a part sponsored shooter by them as well,
Okay.
I said, look, let's promote it, because we are Beretta basically caters to all facets of the industry. So there's military, law enforcement, competition, and recreation. So recreation is the hunting rifles, etc. In competition is mainly shotgun and pistols. So we are actually here to attend the Pistol Nationals, IPSC, Practical Pistol Nationals, which is being held at Ballistic Navy Range at the moment. And there are 250 shooters. When I told the guys at Beretta that there are 250 shooters, they're like, in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, yeah.
Are there foreigners? I said, no, these are all Sri Lankans. So the shooting fraternity is big, and it's funny enough, it's one of the safest sports. It's so highly regulated. You can't be a cowboy, swinging your gun, doing this, etc. Because it's, you say, drop your gun, you're off. So it's, and even if you go to a World Cup overseas for Olympic qualifiers or etc., you must see how well organized it is. No, that's not security, but it's the regulations and the safety is paramount. At utmost higher standard, you can't do anything wrong.
So Gab, you are basically the authorized dealer of Beretta in Sri Lanka.
Agents, correct.
Agents. So this is something that you've actually, that's why you're here?
Absolutely, yes. So we are here. So we've been working with some of the military bodies as well, like the Army, Navy, and Air Force.
Right.
So Beretta also bought a company called Dynamite Nobel. If you know who Alfred Nobel is, he invented dynamite. So they use ammunition, etc., all the ordnance. They just bought it for $850 million US dollars.
Wow.
Last year. And there's another brand called Holland & Holland that used to make shotguns for the kings in England, to the royal family. So they bought that. They have about 50 different companies. Look, when you're 500 years old, you need to do something right to survive 500 years.
No, you buy everybody. That's
I want
exactly what they're doing.
you.
Yeah, I want you, yeah.
Correct. And I think it's the passion. They call it 500 years, one passion. It's the passion. If you go even to that castle, they have the Beretta Castle in Brescia in Italy, very close to Lake Garda. It's beautiful. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The castle is about 650 years old. So a lot of heritage coming down.
Right.
And I use a gun called the Beretta DT11 Black Edition. It's got a carbon fiber rib. So I asked, how did this come about? Because everything else is metal. Oh no, the guys from Beretta were talking to the guys at Ferrari because they want to buy the next fleet of cars, and they thought, they had some carbon fiber, and they said, let's design something. So there's Ferrari involved in one of the guns as well. So that's the level they go to. And look, it's when you look at competition shooting, that's what we have. Our primary market is the competition market.
Right.
So it's crazy. You can customize a gun to what you want, and purely because of the safety standards, etc. So Beretta wanted to have a presence here. We said, look, yes, let's see. We can't. It's a small market compared to Australia or England or any other place, but yes.
Gavin, what I feel is, when it comes to shooting as a sport, right? Now, take for example, even archery, right? In Sri Lanka, people know a little bit of archery, and there is some people doing archery because they practice at BMICH.
Correct.
So anyone going past that way, you always see the targets there and everything, right? So shooting for the longest time, I suppose, was perceived as a sport for the Triforces,
100%.
right?
In Sri Lanka.
In Sri Lanka. I'm talking about Sri Lanka,
Yes,
right?
correct, yes.
So when it comes to representing the country at a national event, it was always the Triforces, right? Nobody knew. I don't know whether anybody at least now knows the regulations, whether you can actually take it up as a sport, whether you're allowed to hold a pistol of that caliber, whether you need to have a license.
Correct.
I think the general knowledge about the sport itself
Absolutely.
is lacking in this country.
Yeah.
So at the moment, there's something called the School Shooting Federation. There are, I think, 5 to 10,000 students shooting a rifle, a pistol, and this is not just
In schools?
In schools, so that this is not in Colombo. This is Anuradhapura, Polonnaru, Jaffna, Gaul. So it's good.
Right.
You know that people are and to own an air rifle, you don't need a license. You can get a decent air rifle for 50,000 rupees. Like, you can't get anything for 50,000 rupees.
Yeah.
You go to a bar and have to drink, it's 50,000. Right? Right? So there is definitely a lot of engagement in a younger age, and which is good. When you get used to something at a younger age, you know how to do it safe, with a lot of the safety precautions as well, and with a lot of, well, yeah, safety is
It's
there.
paramount.
It's paramount.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want cowboys.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you need. So when you, going back to what you said, yes, the Triforces had the time, and also it was not available for the general public. But saying that, the president of the National Shooting Federation at the moment is a civilian, right? So the the Olympic aspect of it, all the office bearers, etc., are civilians. Yes, there are people from the forces as well, but it's a civilian sport. If you go to the US, England, or Australia, I'm talking about, even India, you won't find any guy from
The military forces.
Oh.
shooting. At least shotgun. I'm sure there'll be other guys in rifle and pistol because it's cheaper, and most of these guys have inter-regimental stuff, etc. But when it comes to high performance, obviously, the higher you go, that's a huge fallout rate.
Right.
It's like any sport. It's being a champion or getting to the highest level is a very, very lonely place. No one wants to be with you. No one wants to go down that extra mile. If you look at, I'm pretty sure Kumar Sangakkara, Mala Jayawardene, Mutta Amulda, they would have bowled. I'm sure Mutta Amulda would have bowled thousands of balls in the nets by himself without anyone watching. Kumar Sangakkara, I have heard that he had a bowler bowling at him
For hours.
300 deliveries apparently a day.
Yeah.
Just to get his shots. So those shots actually don't come naturally, through practice. I had a good coach, Nimal Luke, used to say, practice doesn't make you perfect. Perfect practice makes you perfect. Good old sensei.
Right.
It's, and you need to have an aim in what you're doing. So I, as a shooter, I shoot about 25,000 rounds every year.
Wow.
That's a lot of commitment and money, etc. So a lot of people don't realize what it takes. And I've been shooting for about 10 years, and last year, thanks to the Ministry of Sports and the sports body that we had at that time, formulated something called the Olympic High Performance Team to focus on Paris. But that only happened 6 months before the Games.
Right.
When every other country had it for 4 years or 8 years, the Olympic program keeps going. You just make sure that everyone, the qualifying criteria for the Games, and you just work towards that. You don't give an athlete 6 months to qualify when you have a 4-year window. So that's what happened. And Shaq, I've been self-funding myself for 10 years, and then it was good. It was a relief because even a coaching session is $2,000 a day. How can you afford it? Right?
This is a really expensive sport.
Not just shooting. Any sport. If you want to go to the Olympic level,
Yeah.
at that
you
level
have
to
to.
compete in an international arena. Luckily, we have a lot of money coming for cricket. You don't feel it, obviously. They must be paying exorbitant amounts for their coaches as well.
Right.
And not one coach. There's so many coaching staff. For example, I train with the Olympic team. I have friends who are Olympic gold medalists, silver medalists, etc. I've been lucky to train with them. When they go, they have a full team manager, masseuse, doctor, everything. And you rock up with a buddy bag and like, here the poor cousin has come. Where do I see it? You know?
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's to make up your mind to go for training. Obviously, you need to have the passion to see through that. Have goals in your mind. How do you improve, etc. That has to come within. And also, as a country, as a sports body, as a sports administration, Sri Lanka sports has to do a lot more. Unfortunately, we have budgetary constraints.
Right.
You know, we were a country we didn't have petrol 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, so we have come a long way, and I think Sri Lankans are resilient. Okay, growing up, we didn't know whether when we saw our parents go to work, we didn't know whether they came back.
True.
We didn't know when we were parked at a traffic light. Next to a 3-wheeler or a bike was a problem.
Yeah.
So that's where we grew up in. A lot of people have forgotten.
Yeah.
You know, Sri Lanka went from war to peace overnight, and after that, not one shot has been fired. So I think Sri Lankans are resilient. We have the passion. It's just that we need the exposure. We need vision from leaders, whoever it is, so that maybe sport, maybe anything, we have to take Sri Lanka to the next level.
So so basically, you know, before we let you go, Gavin, Beretta, you brought Beretta to Sri Lanka.
Correct.
What is Beretta's role going to be in Sri Lanka?
So Beretta's role going to be in Sri Lanka is we'll have a big presence here.
Okay.
In every category. Primarily at this stage will be competition shooting. So pistol and shotgun, because there's a big market for it. And Beretta, when you buy a shotgun, you have lifetime warranty, lifetime free servicing.
Oh.
Something happens, you go, they sort it out.
Wow.
So unfortunately, Sri Lanka is a bit far from Beretta, but we have gunsmiths in the country, in Australia. We'll fly them in. And if in case there are 100 Berettas, we just say bring it in, we just see what's wrong with it, change all the spare parts, etc. Bang, you have almost a new gun. And nothing happens to it, you know. It's And for the military today, when we met up with some people, they said, we need something that will work for a long time. And we need after sales.
Right.
So we come with all of that. Beretta has a lot of standards. So for an example, we have a pistol which we are, like a 9mm pistol, which we are working with some of the law enforcement agencies here. A couple of years ago, the Indian Army bought 35,000 units of it. Right? That says something.
Yeah.
So there was a model called the Beretta 92 FS. It was the official issue to the US Marines and the US Army. And they said, you have to manufacture it in the US, so they built a factory there. For the US Army to buy, and some of these guns, the testing period is 4 to 5 years before they actually buy that gun. So it's a robust testing procedure. They look at everything. Because look, in law enforcement, we can always say, you know what, it's that cop or that guy is carrying a gun. But when the need arises and when they have to use it, it has to be reliable.
Yeah.
There are so many Turkish guns. They say, it looks like something from Terminator. I said, look, mate, good luck. It has 10 shots, etc. I said, well done. Buy yourself a good pair of running shoes. When you shoot your first shot and the gun jams, throw it and run.
I had a very frightening thought just now. But now he was talking so much about maintenance and repairs and servicing. I wonder why, when the military here, when they aim the legs, it goes and knocks on the head.
Now,
no, that is not what we're talking about here. Right?
That went south very fast.
Very fast.
That
Right?
has to be edited.
Like most things on this show.
But
look, it's everything that is. So, if in case any military agency in Sri Lanka wants to buy a consignment, let's say 100 guns or whatever, for the commandos or whoever, it's not in stock. Beretta has sold its capacity 18 months ahead.
oh wow!
Right?
So there's an 18 months waiting list.
Minimum.
A
Minimum.
minimum.
But if in case it's a big contract, obviously they will open a new line, etc. But again, 6 months minimum.
Right.
And that product that they manufacture will be actually for the Sri Lankan market. They will look at the humidity level, they look at all of that, and then say, yeah, that's what That's from Beretta, and the serial number you can trace it back when it was made, who was the gunsmith, etc. So that something goes wrong, they know who was responsible to it.
Right.
So that's the quality level it goes to, even though it's military hardware.
Right.
So you can imagine the precision and everything that goes into competition shotguns. So that's what it is. No, but we are definitely here to stay. And unfortunately, when I look at some of the prices in Sri Lanka, some of these shops, some of these dealers have been ripping the Sri Lankan public off, big time, especially air rifles. So we will bring the scale that it has and its expertise to give a very cost-effective product for the Sri Lankan market, because we want people to engage in responsible gun ownership, responsible use of firearms, and especially young kids, because yes, LA 2028 we have shooting, and most of Brisbane we'll have shooting as well. So we need to get the next generation prepared, encourage them to come and shoot. It's an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
Rugby is just in the Olympics. Cricket is just in the
Cricket
Olympics.
is just in the Olympics.
There are so many other sports that are waiting to get into the Olympics. So we need to encourage this. Look, it doesn't have to be the same discipline, but as a marksman, I would like to see a lot of participation in Sri Lanka. And this year, or last Olympics, we didn't have anyone in shooting, purely because the qualification system is becoming tougher and tougher and tougher. So when you go for a World Cup, you have shooters, we have about 250, 300 shooters. Only 28 to 32 are allowed in the Olympics.
Wow.
So when I went to Qatar last year for the final Olympic qualifier, there was one quota for the Olympics. So one shooter was going to qualify. There were 185 shooters. So they're just going there, hoping for the best, not knowing who's going to win. So that's how competitive it is. And so many times, luckily Australia, from anywhere in the world, is about 14 hours. When you have a bad day, you just cry. By the time you get down in the plane, you're like, I'm all right now. You have that feeling, but that's what it is. When it comes to the high level competition, you have to motivate yourself. There's no one beside you. It's an individual sport, not a team sport. Everything happens. There's no one else to blame but you. But you just pick yourself and go on again. So I'm 44 years now. I have my eyes. I wear glasses to read now. By the way.
Oh.
To read. So.
That's too bad.
Thanks. I should have a very, very strong orange juice. But I think I have about another 3-4 years left in shooting competitive. And then I will obviously call it a day and most probably go back into rugby in coaching.
Okay.
So that's always been my passion. I've always, shooting and rugby have been my two passions competitively. So I'll most probably go into coaching because I was heading rugby at CR before I left.
Yep.
And people have said, why don't you get involved? Look, the game has changed so much for the last 15 years and I have not been following it. You can be a good rugby player. Some guys say, I played in the 70s. And they're dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Things have changed so much. You can't.
The world has changed so much.
Exactly.
Crazy.
I have two kids. One is 5, one is 3. I met someone who's got a kid who's 20 years old. I said, when he asked me how old my kids are, I said they're 3 and 5. First question he asked, do they listen to you? I said, no chance. No one listens to us anymore.
Things have changed.
Correct.
Gav, thank you so much for coming in.
Pleasure being here. Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem. We want to wish you all the very best. And of course, bringing Beretta, a massive company like that, into Sri Lanka, it's actually, as a whole, it's going to lift the image of Sri Lanka also.
Correct. Absolutely. And look, if anyone who wants to look at Beretta or understand what it is, just go to YouTube and type Beretta. You'll have lots of YouTube videos about their success, their succession as a company. Harvard Business School is doing studies on it. Oxford is doing studies on it. So obviously they've done something right.
Right. And for a long time.
As a brand, as a company, yes.
Yeah.
So clearly they have evolved with the times and they will obviously keep evolving in the future as well.
Lovely. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. That's our guest edition on Gnsl for this week. Gavin Jayasekara, and of course talking about world-renowned Beretta And of course, it's not just basically as far as ammunition and guns are concerned, it's actually a lifestyle brand like Gavin was talking about. Gav, thank you so much. All the best. And let's catch up soon.
Yes, thank you very much.
Not a problem. Going to take a quick break and we shall be back right after this. All right, we are back on the show. It's a tail end of Gnsl, and this is a 42nd, 43rd episode, and something else that we need to basically also talk about is the fact that we're inching towards a 1-year anniversary. Can you believe that?
Congratulations.
Yeah. 1-year anniversary, and we'll talk about that as we move along with the show. In the meantime,
Fun things coming your way.
it's time for us to kickstart game night.
Yeah.
Gen Z edition of game night. All right.
Who's the Gen Z here?
Right, okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the show.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. There'll be 6 questions, each with 4 answer options A, B, C, D. First one to choose the correct answer wins the round. May the best one win.
Okay, that's new.
Right.
Okay.
The first one to choose the correct answer.
Yeah.
Huh?
Winky face.
That's a winky face. I
Ah.
thought it was an asterisk and a comma.
May the best one.
Yeah.
The best winker.
Miss Wink.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Gen Z questions. None of us are
no.
going to. Which artist does the following album belong to?
C.
D.
D.
I said
B.
D first. I said D.
I'm saying B.
D.
Oh my God!
You have a bad
You.
luck,
That
you
was
know.
a real khana.
It-
You didn't even know about Tyler.
Of course, I don't even know who Tyler is.
I didn't even know what D was anyway. It looked long, so I.
Yeah. එහෙම තමයි ඉස්කෝලෙත් කරේ. දිගම උත්තරේට ඉරක් ගැහුවා.
Okay, so next one on the show. Name the brand of the toy that's shown in the picture.
B.
Jellycat.
C. I think.
La Boo Boo.
La Boo Boo.
I'm gonna keep calling you La Boo Boo now.
As in-
මම මෙහෙම විරිත්තනවා. La Boo Boo.
La Boo Boo. La Boo Boo.
Wait, I have a question. La Boo Boo from where? Who that?
I don't even know what La Boo Boo is.
What that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody knows. Who's that?
A La
Oh, La
Boo
Boo
Boo.
Boo.
La Boo Boo.
La Boo Boo.
Le Boo.
Not La Boo Boo. La Boo Boo.
Ah, La Boo
Now here. La Boo Boo. Lanka version එක. La Boo Boo.
Buffett pakai La Boo Boo. Okay, all right, next one.
I don't know. What?
Who is most likely to believe the
C.
address Yemen 15 Yemen
B.
Road, Yemen? Who's most likely to believe
B.
the address 15 Yemen Road, Yemen?
B or D? B or D?
Who's
C.
I'll say D.
I don't know.
B.
Who
You.
said B?
I remember Janice. Janice.
Ah,
Janice.
Boru.
No. I remember that one. I just didn't know whether it was Joy or it was Janice.
Oh, that was from
What
Friends,
is that?
was it?
Friends,
Is that
Oh.
Friends.
series?
Friends.
Friends. Ah, okay.
What are Friends questions doing on Gen Z thing?
Yeah.
La Boo Boo.
Oh.
Sorry, wow.
One question.
La Boo Boo.
One La Boo Boo question there.
La Boo Boo.
Yeah, La Boo Boo.
La Boo Boo.
Okay, let's go. Next La Boo Boo.
La Boo Boo.
Yeah, okay.
Name the TV series from which this iconic picture is taken from.
I know that.
Yeah, that's A.
La Boo Boo.
Okay, La Boo Boo. La Boo Boo, you haven't got anything, La Boo Boo.
I haven't got anything.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So the loser of this ground is going to be called La Boo Boo.
La Boo Boo.
La Boo
God.
Boo.
Okay, so now we're done. What?
Are we
4
done?
questions?
Are we done?
Yeah. So how many
Right.
more? How many
Two
more?
more.
do you have?
Two more.
Oh, two more. Oh, two
Oh,
more.
this
Two
is a
more.
very long
I got
quiz
this, I
now.
got this, I
You
got
got this.
Which
Anna
one?
Hathaway.
Is,
B.
Euphoria.
I don't know.
D.
C?
D.
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 B.
D? I
D.
don't know.
Everyone's wrong. Okay.
Who that?
Storm
Uh,
Reed.
Well,
Yeah.
I will Google.
It's Storm Reed.
There you go.
Yeah, it's Storm. You don't know Storm Reed?
Well, clearly not.
No?
You
You don't know Storm Reed?
I'm a
Neither
La
do you.
Boo Boo.
No? 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 But it's Tom Reed.
Yeah,
Tom Reed.
It's Tom Reed.
You don't know?
No.
Shame.
No,
Shameful. Next one.
Next, La Boo Boo.
The next to auntie.
Yeah.
Which Kardashian is known for
Wait.
for
Caught me, sorry.
What?
Eeny, meeny,
C.
miny, mo. I'm saying B.
Cole.
C.
C.
Oh, well done, La Boo Boo.
I got one.
All right, okay.
I got one.
Yeah, you got one, but so well done. We are very happy. The loser has to dance the blue shirt guy samba whisk.
What is that?
What is this?
That?
You know what? It's
Who's
great.
that guy?
It's great that we don't even know what the punishment is.
If I start the camera. Start the camera.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
It's time for Christian to do the punishment. And what is it called? The
Blue man.
The La Boo Boo.
La Boo Boo.
Go on.
Right, enough. La Boo Boo.
Keep going.
La Boo Boo. La Boo Boo was this?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Well, only on this show where
Yeah.
we will get grown men dancing to
La Boo Boo.
that. What is that?
All
I
right.
don't know.
Okay, so that was
Fun.
That was fun. That was fun.
That was an epic finish.
Thank you very much, Christian, for that performance.
Oh, thank
Right?
you, welcome.
We really enjoyed.
You edit my back, huh?
You edit my back.
The back, we shall, edit
Yeah.
his back. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We're almost done with the show. Just before we go, it's time for us to basically let you know. Please do follow us on our YouTube page. That's Gnsl on Pornhub. Facebook page, and of course, not forgetting our Instagram page, which we need to find out how many followers we have.
Yes.
We have top 3,000, ladies and gentlemen.
3,036.
3,036. Is it 3,036?
Is it?
Oh, it is. Yes. Wow.
Oh, guys.
3,036. I still remember
3, 2, 3.
3, 2, 3, 2, 3.
Cry again.
I don't know. That was very spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
I was laughing and crying.
Honestly,
Oh my
guys,
goodness.
congratulations. Well done.
Okay.
Well done to the team behind GNSL. And we were talking about this. We're almost basically going to be 1 year
Yeah.
on the 1st of August. And we are cooking something special for each and every one of our followers. I don't know what else to say. I mean, 3,000 followers.
Wow.
Thank you. That's all we can say.
Just-
Thank you very much. 3,036 followers for a show that is basically less than 1 year, that is aired only once a week. And
Thank you for loving our clips.
thank you very much.
Sharing your comments, having a good laugh
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah.
Have
Have a good laugh at us.
At us.
Yeah.
By all
You can
means.
laugh with us,
For-
at us, point at us and laugh. No problem. We are
For
welcome for all of that.
All the gangbangs.
I
All-
mean,
yeah,
for
yeah.
all the clips that we still get comments for, I think that
dear.
that St. Sebastian clip recently got what? Or the Prince of Wales, the Cambodian trip,
Yes,
the clips
Cambodian.
got what? The science school is
Our
called scientists.
Science college kids called scientists.
I know, that was hilarious. I saw it recently.
But
So thank you very much.
And thank you so much, guys. And much love to each and every one of you. And there's really nothing else that
Yeah.
we can say.
Yeah.
But apart from the fact that we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because 3,000 followers for a show that basically is done for beep, beep, and giggles,
Yeah.
once a week is quite impressive,
Yeah.
if we may say ourselves.
Yeah.
There are shows out there, there are radio shows out there that basically go on Monday to Friday, still struggling, and we're just doing it once a week.
We also like each other a lot. If you are wondering why this works, we really like each other and we bug each other
miss each
and
other.
we miss each other and we
Yeah.
are all of this off air, so to
Yeah,
speak,
yeah,
as well
yeah.
as on. So it's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, a big thank you to the team. You don't necessarily see the team that actually works really hard to make sure that the show is uploaded on time, make sure that the clips are actually going up on time, make sure they work on time, make sure they come on time. A big thank you to our team that actually basically is working behind this. It's just not the three of us. There's about 3,000 people behind us.
Yeah.
All lies. Anyway, on that note,
Another 3 behind us. There you go. One for each.
on that note, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful night. Great weekend. Good night, Sri Lanka. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.